What's going on, guys? Carter here, and I have a very special guest, Peronnard, the creator of the Endurocross series. So the pros now are going to be the Super Endurocross class? Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, I mean it's not necessarily the name I wanted to use, but the fact is the Endurocross World Championship is called Super Enduro. I've been trying for years to match the two names, but it's just not working out. So instead of having them changing their name, we're gonna change a little bit our name for the public to understand that Super Enduro and Super Endurocross is the same sport. You know, so that's the reasoning behind that. Nothing else is gonna change. What we were used to call the pro class or the expert class. So now Colton Hacker and Cody Webb, they are racing for the Super Endurocross class.
The Super Endurocross class, there's going to be a different format for that as well.
Yes, we will change slightly the format to first, we're going to protect the top 8 riders of the championship. The top 8 riders of the championship will be always in the show, you know, because we feel like once you get to that level, you cannot have a bad day and be missing your LCQ or something like that. So the top 8 that are present at the day of the race will automatically be in the main show, you know, and I mean in the final. Then there will be 7 of the other spots that will have access to it through different ways.
I think what's going to help the most for the average viewer is just breaking down how the day is going to go. What's the schedule going to be like?
Sure. You know, the day is going to start regularly for riders like you at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. You'll go through your practice, you'll go through qualifiers, and the only difference will be that we will qualify about 15 Super Endurocross riders. You know, instead of 20 in the past, because we had 10 that were seeded already. And we will get into the famous hot lap only with the top 8 riders of the championship. So in Vegas, we'll start with the top 8 guys, minus Taddy, now he's retired, as we all know. So it will be most likely the top 9 because one of the riders won't be there. And it will be that format every week of the championship. Whoever the top 8 guys that are here, you know, if we have injuries or people missing a race, always the top 8 present. We'll have that hot lap to select, you know, gate pick, and meanwhile we'll select, you know, 14 Super Endurocross racers. We'll do the cleanup of the track as always between 5 and 7. At 7 o'clock, we will start. The first race we will have will be the Super Endurocross qualifier. About 14 riders, and the top 5 will move in the night show, the night final, which is going to be the last race of the evening. So we have that Super Endurocross qualifier, first race of the night. The top 5 are in a night show. They've done their work. Second race will be most likely the amateur B, just to have a good race with amateurs to realize the difference of level there is between a pro rider, a Super Endurocross rider, and an amateur. And you know, it's much harder for the amateur than it is for the pro, just to make a point here. And then we'll have our first race for the Super Endurocross class, which will be the gate pick for the main. So there will be just a race. All the riders will be there. You know, the top 8 plus the 5 that qualified. After that, we'll have the vet class. We'll have intermission, and then we'll restart after intermission with something real fun that is going to get the spectators really excited. We'll do a bracket race with the top 12 guys of the qualifier, always Super Endurocross. And we'll end up with the top 2. And the guy that wins will earn 1 point, you know, that will be added to the championship.
Are these bracket races going to be like 1 lap?
1 lap, yes. It will be 4 brackets of 3, then 2 brackets of 2, and 1 bracket of 2. So spectators will see all their best riders 3 times, you know, plus the qualifier 4 times, plus the final, you know, so it's 5 times. A champion is going to appear 5 times in front of the spectators, which is 2 times more than it was last year. That was kind of the concept around that, just to bring the top guys in front of the spectators more often. And then we'll have a very interesting race. We'll have what we call the B main for the Super Endurocross class. But the B main, we will allow the winner of amateur and vet to be the last gated in the B main. So that's going to be something really different and quite exceptional for racers. You could actually end up doing your first main. If you had won the amateur or the vet class, you could end up winning the B main and then sent to the final.
So you're taking the top 2 from the B main.
2.
So not only is the B main its own race, but it's also serving as kind of an LCQ for the main.
Exactly, but I like better to be a B main than an LCQ, because the B main will get trophies. They won't be a part of a championship, just like the amateur B. It's just not, the B class shouldn't be part of the championship, but that will allow you to transport you to eventually a final. And we really hope we can get some real new talent that are going to be very hungry, that won't say, I'm not going to try the pro class, Super Endurocross class, but I'm going to go to do vet or amateur. Just guys, we have a couple super good motocross guys that are tempted, but they don't want to line up right away between Cody and Colton. It's too much. But if they can see the steps, then maybe they'll go to a main. If you go to the main, you're out of any other championship for the year. Any rider that does the main Super Endurocross final is not allowed in any other classes the rest of the year. So it will be a choice, it will be optional. When you win the amateur class and you go into the B main, when you win that class, you will have the choice to say, I'd rather stay an amateur, instead of going into the pro Super Endurocross class.
No, I like that. I mean, the sandbagging issue, you're kind of dodging it on both ends. You've got
trying to
as best as you can.
We have professional sandbaggers in any motorsports, so we'll have to be careful. But basically, that's the idea. And the final race would be 14 laps. We will have, after the intermission, we'll have the bracket race. We'll have the B main, the women's final, and the Super Endurocross final. 14 laps. We went from 15 to 14 simply because we couldn't announce half race. When you're 15, you don't know. So at 7 laps, people will be informed that they have, done half of the race.
And in those 14 laps, from what I understand, there's going to be one lap where you have to take a joker lane?
Absolutely. We call it a no-joke lane, because it's really no joke. And we're going to create I would say, 20 yards lane that is going to be rather challenging, not stupidly challenging, but something that riders will have to be calm and collected to go over it. We have some interesting ideas. We don't want to do anything dangerous. It's just the fact that it's going to be something that's going to require to change your from racing mind to obstacle mind.
I was going to ask you, you kind of touched on it a little bit, you've got some new ideas, but are there some crazy new obstacles we can expect?
No, because in one way, the regular track should be easier to ride, not easy, easier. And the no-joke lane is gonna be kind of like the Judgment Day lane. We want riders to feel tense about entering it, but we want them to get rid of it as quickly as possible. It's going to be a lot of strategy in a race. It's going to be like when you do extreme enduro and you do your lap and you have that waterfall to climb, which is not going to be easy for anybody. I'm sure it will be easy for the top 5, but everybody can make mistakes.
So the no-joke lane is strictly a Super Endurocross class?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We don't know yet. We may leave it open for everybody to try, but we don't expect people to try something overly challenging when they're racing their race, if they don't have to. And we'll see. We'll see. Evolution maybe will make it available. Maybe the amateur will have to do it at some point. But it's always difficult to gauge the level of riding ability.
Thanks for coming by, and really appreciate it.
Thank you, Carter.
See you
Pleasure.
See you at Vegas.
Yes, absolutely. We look forward to see all of you and all Endurocross fans.